He barked again tonight, a small, desperate sound, soft enough to seem harmless, yet filled with an ache that gnawed at me. The sound came from the kitchen. The little bowl sat there, empty. The treats I promised him were gone, all of them. My fault. I sat at the table, my fingers dusted with crumbs I'd told myself were just one more. It wasn't hunger that drove me, not the kind that comes from the stomach. It was the quiet satisfaction of control. He looked at me from the corner, ears low, tail still, waiting for something I'd already taken. His eyes asked questions I didn't want to answer. I whispered, "Tomorrow I'll share." But even as I said it, I knew I wouldn't. Something inside me twitched, not guilt exactly, more like recognition, that this was what power felt like. Still, his small, sad sound lingered, echoing louder than any apology I could give. And somewhere, deep down, I realized it wasn't about the treats. It never was. It started days ago, with her, Noor. She smiled when she handed me the small box of biscuits. "For him," she said. "Promise you'll share." She always spoke like that, with warmth so soft it could hide 1,000 knives. I'd loved her once, believed her once. Now, I saw it, the pattern, the way she promised things she never meant to give. How she'd say, "I'll be home soon," with that same tilt of her voice. But her phone lit up long before she walked through the door. Different names, same time, same lies. She'd call me sweetheart, and my chest would tighten, not from affection, but from calculation. Each word she used had a purpose. Each glance was measured. And like the puppy, I waited, hungry for something she'd already fed to someone else. That night, as the puppy whined, I felt the mirror crack. She promised to share. She kept it all. The betrayal wasn't sudden. It was slow, like a cold drip in the back of the mind. 1,000 tiny moments collecting into one truth. Noor had her secrets, and I was done pretending I didn't see them. I began watching her the way she once watched me, quietly, from the edges. I learned her patterns, her half-smiles, her careful distance, the moments she turned her phone face down on the table, the perfume she wore only on late work nights. I said nothing, just observed. There's power in silence. She'd forgotten that. While she spoke, I listened. While she moved, I traced the rhythm of deceit beneath her skin. I checked the call logs. Deleted messages still leave shadows, traces most people don't see. She thought she'd covered them. She hadn't. Each piece fit together like broken glass, sharp, uneven, perfect. At dinner, I'd hand her a glass of water, my face calm. Inside, the storm raged quietly. I wanted to ask her if she ever planned to share what she'd promised, her truth, her loyalty, her heart. But I didn't, because I already knew the answer. Every lie she fed me tasted sweet at first, then bitter, then nothing, just like the treats I couldn't stop eating. The truth came wrapped in numbers and timestamps, a receipt from a hotel downtown, 2 glasses of wine, 1 room. Her signature, neat, practiced, cruel. I didn't confront her right away. I let the silence stretch. Silence is a weapon. It makes guilt echo louder. That night, I placed the receipt on the counter beside the puppy's empty bowl. When she saw it, she froze. Her lips parted. A small, trembling thing escaped her throat. Not words, just panic. "Where did you?" she started. I cut her off with a look, calm, detached, almost bored. For a long moment she just stood there, the woman who once promised to share everything with me, now realizing she'd already consumed it all. I didn't yell, didn't accuse. I simply said, "You kept them all for yourself." She blinked, confused. "What?" "The treats," I murmured, "the promises." And then I turned away. Her sobs filled the silence like cheap music, all noise, no meaning. The next morning, she found the door open. The puppy was gone. So was I. I'd left her everything else: the apartment, the soft pillows, the mirrors that would never look the same again. On the table, I placed a small note. Now you know how it feels to be waiting, hungry, for something that never comes. I imagined her reading it, realizing it wasn't about food, or trust, or even love. It was about control. She'd taken it from me piece by piece. Now I'd returned the favor, quietly, surgically. Some betrayals deserve fire, others deserve emptiness. I drove without direction, the puppy asleep beside me. He stirred once, his tail tapping against the seat, a soft, forgiving sound. For a moment I wondered if forgiveness was possible. Then I dismissed the thought. Some things are better left unshared, like secrets, like trust. In the rearview mirror, the city shrank, a place filled with promises broken down to dust, the kind you can taste but never swallow. I reached out and handed him a treat. He wagged his tail, eyes bright again. He forgave easily. I never would. The world outside was quiet, still, almost merciful. But inside I felt something colder, not anger, not grief, just freedom. She kept everything for herself once. Now, so do I.